Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good day to you. That's depending where you are in the world. We're here doing our nighttime devotion in London from the devotional Christ Triumphant. The title today, God's Protective Cloud in the Desert. Exodus 14 verse 11. Because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us? There's a lesson of the greatest importance for us in the experience of the children of Israel as they left Egypt. More than 1 million people had been led out of the right course, as many of them thought, into a valley hemmed in by mountains. Before them lay the Red Sea, and behind them, following fast after in pursuit, was Pharaoh's host. In the beginning of their march, the children of Israel had been guided by a cloud. Ignorant and superstitious because of their long years of bondage in a land of superstition, the people looked upon this cloud with wonder. Some regarded it with fear, while others declared that it was a favourable omen. As the people were encamped beside the sea, they saw in the distance the flashing armour and the moving chariots of Pharaoh's host, his army. Terror filled their hearts. Some cried unto the Lord, but by far the greater part hastened to Moses with their complaints. Moses was greatly troubled that his people should manifest so little faith in God, notwithstanding they had repeatedly witnessed the manifestations of his power in their behalf. True, there was no possibility of deliverance unless God himself should interpose for their release. But having been brought into this position in obedience to the divine direction, Moses felt no fear of the consequences. His calm and assuring reply to the people was, "Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of the Lord." It was not an easy thing to hold the hosts of Israel in waiting before the Lord. Lacking discipline and self-control, they became violent and unreasonable. The wonderful pillar of cloud had been followed as the signal of God to go forward, but now they questioned if it might not foreshadow some great calamity, or had it not led them on the wrong side of the mountain into an impassable way. But now, as the Egyptian host approached them, expecting to make them an easy prey, the cloudy column arose majestically, passed over the Israelites, descended between them and the armies of Egypt. A wall of darkness interposed between the pursued and their pursuers. The Egyptians could no longer discern the camp of the Hebrews and were forced to halt. But as the darkness of night deepened, the wall of cloud became a great light to the Hebrews, flooding the entire encampment with the radiance of day. That which had been a terror to the people had become their protection. God's protective cloud in the desert. I remember watching this movie, the movie back in the day of Charlton Heston, old movie. and he played Moses. And I remember where it showed that the pillar of cloud then became a protective wall of fire. But I don't remember it saying it became a dark cloud that the Egyptians saw, but a great light that the Hebrews saw, which is absolutely physically impossible. But of course, with God, everything is possible. And that's what you have to remember. Yes, as it says, when the Israelites came out of Egypt, they were all happy. Yes, we're going to go to Canaan. We've been saved from being slaves, etc., etc. But within days, they'd seen all 10 plagues come and go. The plagues come like that, and then they disappear just as quick. And they forget about all that within days. They passed through, well, we haven't got to that stage yet, but I'm passing through the Red Sea. But they passed through the Red Sea and they forgot about it again within days. Are we the same? God does great, amazing, wonderful things for us. And even these days now, he still works in our lives. He's worked in my life many times. But do we still lack faith at the crunch times where we should just turn to him? The Israelites didn't. There was few, very few, out of the millions that came out. Moses, who witnessed everything that God could do. God used him and basically used Moses' rod as a tool, but it wasn't. That was just for people to see. It was all for effect. So Moses obviously was greatly troubled because he had that experience personally with God. But the Israelite people didn't. Just a few remembered what God had done to help them to come out. Everyone else mumbled and grumbled because they missed the food of Egypt, they missed the ways of Egypt, they missed the comforts. But no one had the vision or foresight of what was to come. To trust God. And even now, when this was happening, this cloud, this pillar of cloud which was leading them during the day, it was moving, leading them. If you're seeing this, if you're running from the Egyptians and this pillar of cloud is moving and leading you, what would you think it is? But I'd have to put myself back in those days, and I can't judge them or critique them in any way because I don't know what I would be like in the same situation. But God saved them, literally, so many times. And they still grumbled and murmured. As Jesus said, we need just the faith of a mustard seed. How much faith do you have?